We are live. Good morning. Happy weekend to everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you all are enjoying your week or have enjoyed your week. College football has been killing me recently. It's bad. I did hit Pittsburgh the other night, but then I followed it up with a couple losses last night. Coach Prime really had his A game out there. Colorado looks sharp. Oh my God.
Hashtag we not coming.
Washington State and that offense got held to 7 points by, who was it? Stanford.
That was the best game of the year. That was just the statement of statement. Just like you take your shit out of here, man. We've had enough, man. You and Lincoln Riley can go live in happiness together. Like, man, you're straight trash.
And then Travis Hunter makes like a crazy play late in the game, limps off the field. He did come back in. But again, it's like, dude, what is he playing offense for down 40 points? What is he in the game for? Like, what? Now, I know that he's the type of guy that probably demanded to be in there, so I'm not even blaming Coach Prime for that. But it's just crazy. You would think that a lot of head coaches in the FBS wouldn't even let him play at that point. But all right, Michigan at Maryland is first. We're starting off with a really nice 19-point favorite here on the road. Rat Hawk, you have the stage. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Michigan here. I don't love it, especially now that the linebackers coach for Michigan was the next knife to fall. But I just
did they suspend another coach?
No, they fired him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because they found out that he was partially funding the guy going to the games or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. But no, I can't I have such a hard time with Maryland here. Like I said, I don't love this game at all. Just because there's that potential for that look ahead spot with the big game on deck. But Michigan normally trounces Maryland, and I think they just want to. I don't know. I don't even know what to say at this point, but it's just like I have no other words. But I think Michigan wins this one by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm on the same page, and I would love to take Maryland here. Maryland's looked bad, and then at home against Michigan, you think this would be a nice spot to buy low on them, and then Michigan, like you said, in a look ahead spot. But this team is playing with so much emotion right now. The coach was crying. The coach was crying on the sideline as if Jim Harbaugh got sent off to the Middle East for active combat. Like, dude, he's fine. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. He was crying. So, yeah, this Michigan team's playing with an edge right now, and I think they're looking to embarrass their opponents as well as beat them. So, yeah, I'm on the same page as you. Mitch. Oh, that's not Mitch. That's Jay. There's Mitch.
I'm going to roll with Maryland in this one. Michigan is straight trash. They've beaten nobody in the last 50 years in a real meaningful game. And, of course, they've got Ohio State up next week. It is senior day here in Maryland. And, while I think Michigan certainly has the better roster, and usually they know what the other team is going to call, it certainly helps their defense out a lot. I think that, I'm rooting for Maryland, so I'm going to take Maryland on spite alone in this one. I just think that Michigan, like I said, one of the most overrated programs of the last 50 years. They've won absolutely nothing in my lifetime, and you guys know I'm 100.
Oh, real quick, I want to fix these cameras before we go forward. So this one's right, so it's not the cameras. Never mind. All right, let's bring up Jay last. Jay?
I'm gonna lean Michigan with you guys as well. I don't love it. I didn't bet it. I lean there. The reason being is like you guys hit the nail on the head. It's a look ahead to next week. Huge game. I need them to win next week. I'm for sure on them boys next week. But in this one, I think they win. Like Chris said, I see a 21-point win here. They're the better team, and they still got some motivation. So that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a spot to take Maryland. And in any other case, I would be taking Maryland. But like I said, Michigan's out to prove a point right now.
What's the point? What's their point that they can continue to beat up bad teams and then against meaningful teams?
The
lose to like TCU in the playoff game.
Mitch, that's the
straight
point.
The point is that they weren't beating these teams up based on the sign stealing. Look, I'm not trying to defend Michigan. I'm saying that's the point they're trying to make, is that the sign stealing has nothing to do with us beating the shit out of it. I mean, I would if I had to guess a lot of
beating up on New Mexico State. Congratulations, boys.
There's no reason to take shots.
I mean, seriously, man.
There's no reason to take shots at Diego Pavia like that.
Now watch this.
Just straight trash of a program, man. They have won nothing in my lifetime. Nothing. Not one meaningful game. Not one meaningful game have they won in my lifetime.
Not one meaningful game. So the Ohio State game the last couple of years, not meaningful.
Not.
It's the biggest game on the schedule for Michigan.
Not when you have a budget that size. Not when you have an athletic budget that size. No, it's not meaningful. You need to win championships because that's the ground that they're regarded in. That's the number. Jay even said earlier, Michigan's the best team in the country.
They might be.
I'll go double or nothing on the 5K you owe me on Georgia if they play head to head, and I'll lay you double of whatever the point spread is.
You're gonna lay
I'll give you double whatever the points is. I'll give you Georgia, and I'll go.
We get it, Mitch. You have a hard on for Kirby Smart. That's been noted in previous episodes.
Yeah, but a team that wins championships against a shitbag program.
Shitbag. Shitbag. Our poll is heavy on Michigan here. 69% of our viewers laying the 19 with Michigan. 22% taking the 19 with Maryland. Man. Next.
Diego Pavia can't even run with his hamstring messed up.
So, guys, the graphics are messed up. Under Mitch it says Jay. Under Jay it says Rat Hawk. So the labels.
I'm Jay.
You're Jay today. So you're
coming, bitches.
Is that what Jay's? All right, let's talk.
Coming.
Louisville, Miami. I'm just gonna put money line in the poll because I'm pretty sure if this isn't a pick'em, it's right next to it. Mitch, are you taking your guys here? Last home game of the year.
Absolutely not. Louisville all day for me. Every public square just humping up all over Miami in this game. And we've seen Tyler Van Dyke this year. We saw him last year. He is an absolute scrub. Miami is one of the best defenses you'll ever see in the country. They are fantastic. But when you have a quarterback that cannot throw the ball to the
Louisville's got a quarterback that can't throw all the ball, Mitch.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Miami doesn't get any breaks this season. With Louisville headed to the ACC championship game, the vested interest is for Louisville to win this game. And as we've seen so far in the scratch ticket world that sports has become, the scratch ticket says you just read the barcode at the bottom. It says Louisville. And I think that's exactly the way that this game goes. If you can tackle a quarterback in the end zone and not get a safety for it twice in 3 weeks, you ain't going to win. I tell you that much. And I think they're not going to win this game either. I love my Canes. You guys know they're going to bury me in an orange and green casket. I'm taking Louisville in this one.
Mitch is letting his emotions affect his judgment here. This is a spot for Miami.
I've seen Miami a million times. I grew up in the stands of the Orange Bowl.
Exactly my point. You're letting your emotions. You're talking about shit that's happened early in the season.
After losing to Florida State, this is the type of game that they lose by 40.
Have you seen Louisville on the road this year, Mitch? I'm pulling it up now.
Doesn't matter. Have you seen Miami? They lost to Georgia Tech at home. They lost.
I've seen Miami get up for the biggest games of the year.
They lost to Middle Tennessee.
Louisville on the road, 13-10 to NC State. Got their asses beat by Pitt. Got their asses beat. Jack Plummer's been terrible on the road, and they're out on the road in Miami against a defense that could stop the run, which means there's a lot of pressure on Jack Plummer to produce. I don't have a ton of faith in Miami's offense moving the ball. Certainly don't believe in Tyler Van Dyke, but I'm getting the home team money line against the Louisville offense. I don't think is going to be able to do much.
For a reason. There's a reason. There's
a reason because Louisville's ranked 10th overall and has been the much better team.
Rankings mean nothing, man, in the grand rankings. Those guys don't watch the games.
Yeah, but they mean something as far as where the point spread is because the point spread is based on where the action is coming in. So, yeah, the rankings mean something as far as this being a money line. Yeah, I'm on Miami here. Money line. Let's bring up Rat Hawk. Whose side are you on here?
I've never seen Mitch this much against this team.
I was gonna say I feel like I'm in like Bizarro world right now. Like it's crazy. But I was on Miami on the Thursday show and I'm sticking with them. I mean, it looks weird that Miami's in a pick 'em in this spot. I guess senior day probably has something to do with that, but
Yeah, Mitch loves senior day. Apparently not today.
yeah.
Mitch is all about that. He's like, go, Sausage homecoming. Who gives a shit?
I for some reason I thought that Plummer was hurt, but I'm not seeing him on any injury reports, so maybe I'm just hearing things. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to get there with Louisville all week. To me, this just feels like a rough spot for him. Yeah, I was still on Miami all week. I'm just going to stick with him here.
2 correct picks and 1 incorrect pick. Jay? Canes, Jay.
Louisville.
Oh, come on.
I need Louisville.
You're drinking the Mitch Kool-Aid, bro. Don't let him get to your head. The move is Miami here.
No, I'm not. This is my own Kool-Aid I'm drinking. I need Louisville to win back-to-back.
Why is that?
Win total.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're split down the middle, and our poll is leaning Louisville. 54%.
It's going to get really weird. It's going to get
Very
really
educated
weird.
crowd. Once they got out of that whole Michigan.
No, maybe you're just wrong on where the public is here, Mitch, because from what I'm seeing, everyone's on Louisville. You're like, oh, everyone's taking Miami. I am feeling the opposite based on what I'm seeing.
I meant in the poll. I meant our people.
No, but I meant like in the YouTube comments. All the comments on my video are like, how are you taking Miami?
And ours, everybody's on Miami and ours. We have a lot. Everyone's on Miami.
Well, this poll, 54% on Louisville, 39% on Miami. Next, Utah, Arizona. I wish I had like a stronger opinion about this game because this is a cool Pac-12 game here, and I really don't know what to do with it. I'll run the poll. I already know Mitch is on Whittingham, but I think Mitch likes the Arizona coach too. What the hell's his name? Jed. What the hell's the Arizona coach name? Jed
Fish.
Jed Fish. Yeah, I bet you Mitch likes that guy too. Radhawk, are you on Utah, Arizona? No, you might be on the under.
No, I almost called him Dead Fish for some reason. I'm going with Arizona here. All day. I really like this Arizona team. I'm thinking about getting a Noah Fafita jersey. I really love this Arizona team a lot. And I think that Utah, they benefited from some decent, spots this season. They almost lost at Baylor with, Baylor's backup quarterback and, Dante Moore. They beat him at Rice Eccles, who's a freshman in a hostile environment. Graham Mertz, making his Florida debut. They just had a bunch of formidable situations that have benefited them. I don't think it does here. Arizona's made Tucson a tough place to go on the road and win. And I think Arizona gets the job done at home. So give me Arizona in this one.
I agree. If I believed more in Barnes and the Utah passing attack, I would take Utah here. This isn't one I feel really strongly about. I completely understand if you're betting Utah on this one. Arizona defenses look good. This is definitely going to be the public side, though. I would imagine most people are going to be on Arizona. But if Utah's going to come in here and try to just run the ball and win this game on the road simply by running it, Barnes is going to have to make plays through the air. He was able to do it against USC. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it here against Arizona. This defense has played really well. So it's a lean towards Arizona for me. I don't love it. Mitch?
Arizona, that's more than a lean for me.
Really?
If the game was at
you love
Utah,
Whittingham, bro.
I do, but if the game was at Utah, I'd certainly feel a lot better. But right now, Arizona is just really a team, really a lot of momentum on this team. Of course, senior day for Arizona in this game as well. And as we've seen in the past.
So this senior day matters?
This one?
Yeah, but not the Miami one?
Well, the Miami one, Miami doesn't have any meaningful seniors on their team.
Does Arizona?
It's all freshmen. Like all their best players are like freshmen and sophomores on Miami.
I mean,
like 98% freshmen.
Are you certain that Arizona has a bunch of meaningful seniors on the team?
Yes, they do.
All right.
And I think that Fish is the coach of the year in college football this season. I think he's done an amazing job with a team that's been a doormat since Teddy Bruschi played there. I think really that was the last time they were relevant. And I think it's been a good job. What we've seen in the Pac-12 this season is they've beaten up on themselves as a conference almost across the board, except for Colorado, who's got beaten up by everybody. I think that I think Arizona wins this one, and then Utah closes out their season on Senior Day next week by beating up on Colorado and padding their record.
I could see that.
Did you see the effectiveness of that Washington State offense and special teams last night and defense? Just it all came together. It was
gelled.
A beatdown. It brought a tear to my eye when it got to halftime at 42-7. I said to myself, do I continue to watch this or do I continue to watch this?
I was busy. I had the main screen. I had James Harden and the Clips coming from behind to beat the Rockets. Well, not really coming from behind, but finishing it out. They didn't cover.
Did you catch the last seconds of that Kings game? Did you have the Kings?
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Yeah, but the thing, people were saying that was a meaningless layup. But in this in this NBA Cup tournament, the point differentials matter. So in reality,
it certainly matters.
Yeah, from going from 7 to 9 on that game, it mattered.
Oh, it mattered.
Jay.
Arizona for me here as well.
Sweeping.
Yeah. I don't love it, but I like Arizona here. They've been rolling. They really showed me something with how they dominated Colorado, and I think at home this should be another spot where they get it done.
Did Washington State show you something last night?
Washington State, we liked them early in the season. They had just went through a lull of playing bad football. So, I was kind of surprised to see them explode like that again, but we had seen that from them.
I had the under in that game, so yeah, I was a little surprised myself.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had Washington State. I put just an absolute ton on it.
57% of our viewers are on Arizona, as well as all of us. So this is an Arizona program today. 33% on Utah. Next, Cincinnati at West Virginia. Mitch doesn't sound like he loves this one. Well, this line. You know what? I'll go first in this one, but first let me get the poll running. It's now down to 5.5, and I don't know what I'm missing here. It's very clear that Cincinnati plus 5.5 is the sharp move here. Very clear. But I just don't see it. I don't know what I'm missing. Cincinnati, Emory Jones on the road in West Virginia. Cincinnati's going to come in here and try to do exactly what West Virginia want their opponents to do, especially on the road in Morgantown. They want you to They want you to get in that run battle. Try to run it on us and try to stop our run game. And that's what Cincinnati's going to try to come into West Virginia and out West Virginia. I don't get it. I think West Virginia should win comfortably. Then again, if you look at the bottom left, this line was at 6.5. It then, even though the public is on West Virginia, got bet down to 5.5. So there's some heavy hitters. There's some pros out there hitting this Cincinnati number. They hammered that Cincinnati plus 6.5 and bet this down. I don't know what they're seeing. Clearly, they're seeing something. Maybe I'm missing it. But to me, this line should be 7. I like West Virginia to win by at least a touchdown. I think they win comfortably, but it's not going to be a huge bet because, this line movement, it stinks. It stinks. So I'm terrified, but I'm on West Virginia. Mitch?
Cincinnati has been like the darling team of the Sharps, and they've gotten it handed to them on this team. They finally got one last week, but it has been very, very rare that they've come across from. We only got, as far as I'm concerned, we only have 2 more chances to fade Emory Jones in our lifetimes, and I'm going to take full advantage of both of them. This one I'm going to take West Virginia for no other reason, but I just love fading Emory Jones, and I'm going to miss him when he's gone. We know there are only certain situations in life that you're only going to get X amount of chances, right? We only got so many more shots of fading Mac Jones, right? Till it's all over. We had 72 minutes of joy of Trey Lance's career, and now it's Emory Jones's college career. You only get these things only happen. They come, they go. We never forget them, but we enjoy them all here.
Maybe Emory Jones will get like an XFL contract, and we can continue to fade him in years into the future.
Don't tease us,
Radhawk, are you with us on WVU, or are you one of the Sharps on Cincinnati?
I just imagine Mitch with a candle lit, singing Sarah McLachlan, saying, "Don't be sad that it's over, just be happy that it happened." I'm going with West Virginia here as well. I'm with you guys. I think this is just West Virginia forcing Cincinnati to play how they want to play, turn this into an ugly, run the football kind of game. And I trust West Virginia's offense. I surely trust their defense a lot more than Cincinnati's right now. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me WVU in this one.
Am I the only one that's scared of the line movement though? I mean, drop from 6.5 to 5.5. People are betting Cincinnati. Some heavy hitters are betting Cincinnati. That's not a myth. That's happening. I'm not saying it's changing my pick. I'm just a little scared of it. Jay?
I really want to take Cincinnati.
Don't be shy. Don't be bashful. I'll put man. Cincinnati on the screen for you.
Yeah.
I really want to take Cincinnati. I mean, West Virginia, they not a latest many type points type team to me. They've been good in certain spots, but I mean, the way they got their doors blown off last week is not they're going to come back and smash Cincinnati. I don't think so. I think Cincinnati might be live dog here. This game is not like one that's on my radar. I didn't bet this game, but I'm not rushing to lay points with West Virginia, especially if these numbers are true down at the bottom of the screen. Everybody, they mama, uncle, and auntie on West Virginia. No, sir, not me. I would go Cincinnati.
I don't even hate that reasoning. I've placed bets for that reasoning. In fact, there's one of the smaller games today that I like. It's just because everyone else is on the other side. So I don't hate the reasoning. Yo, when did Rat Hawk get such a cult following? In the comments, like people are here to see Rat Hawk. Apparently,
I don't hate. Oh, go ahead. I don't hate the reasoning there from Jay, but what I do hate is Emory Jones, and I just think it's a problem. And the great thing about West Virginia, if you've ever been to a game there, they let you leave the stadium at halftime and then come back in. So it's a real lathered up crowd in the second half. It is.
As expected, our polls all over West Virginia. 67% of our viewers are on WVU, 22% taking the points with Cincinnati, siding with Jay here. Next. Here's the big one, Georgia, Tennessee. I guess we'll bring up Mitch first because we already know what he's going to say. Just copy and paste the same thing he says every single week about Kirby Smart. He's got a Kirby Smart shrine in his house. So yeah, am I putting Georgia plus minus 9.5 up here, Mitch?
Yes, we are. Kirby Smart just going to be too physical on the defensive side of the ball. We just have a big edge in the head coaching department here with Kirby Smart. The Bulldogs, 27 wins in a row. They are in rarefied air and heading. If you can get past the 30 mark in college football, now you start getting into those Miami streaks. And it's like, those are the big ones, right? In modern football, most of the streaks in the winning streak marks are pre-scholarship limitation, pre-black players being allowed to play. So a lot of those streaks in those top ones really don't mean that much. The big ones, I mean, Oklahoma at 50 before scholarship limitations, before black players. Different rules, different game. The Miami ones in the 38s and 39 range, they've got two of them up there. Those are some pretty big matzo balls hanging out there to go after. In Georgia, they're in range. They're a year away, man, heading into that. Pretty amazing stuff in today's day and age in college football. I just think you have to give credit where credit's due. Whether you love Kirby Smart or love Kirby Smart, you got to do that.
All right, Mitch takes Kirby Smart. Shocker. Rat Hawk, are you also taking Kirby Smart?
I am, just because it's just because my feelings on Joe Milton. It just, like I said, it's because you know my feelings on Joe Milton. He's got that cannon, but he's got a cannon that he fires and hits a kid in the fourth row eating his popcorn. It's like it's just gonna be wildly inaccurate with it. My concern is that Tennessee has a fantastic run game, but if they get caught in third and long, and you're forcing Joe Milton to try to make plays and try to move the chains, I don't think he can do it. And it just almost feels like you're waiting for that inevitable 2-touchdown, 17-point lead from Georgia. And we saw it last week against Ole Miss. Once Georgia starts getting momentum and starts running downhill and starts putting up points, you kind of get buried in the avalanche. I think that's what could happen here with Tennessee. So I like Georgia in this one.
All right, let's bring up Jay next. Jay?
Tennessee.
There you go. There you go.
I very rarely bet Tennessee. When I do bet them, it's at home because that's where they play their best football. And Georgia not going to go in there and bust them up. I don't see it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't see it. They win. I got Georgia winning by 7. That's how this game finishes in my mind.
I'm with Jay.
I think that's what we're looking at.
That's why you're cold in college football. What's your record against Kirby Smart this?
Yo, Kirby Smart,
Florida.
Kirby Smart doesn't cover when I bet him though, because I bet him against Missouri. I bet him. I'm 0-5 in my last 5 bets in Georgia games, and I've bet Georgia 2 of those. So they don't cover for me either.
Take Tennessee then, because the rest.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I don't even think I put this. Yeah, I'm almost positive I didn't even put this on my final ticket. So this isn't a bet I love. But obviously, a game like this, we're going to be watching. I want to have some money on it. So I'll take Tennessee. Like Jay said, they play a lot better at home in Knoxville. They could defend the run and they could run the ball. I mean, at home where you play better and you could do those 2 things should give you a fighter's chance. But I'm not faulting anybody for taking Georgia here. I will say this line got bet down from 10.5 to 9.5, despite everybody taking Georgia here. So definitely a little
Tennessee's the play, man. Tennessee's the play.
I mean, some shaky nice line moving over a key number.
In what?
Always really nice to us in Knoxville when we go to the games there too. Super nice.
There's a lot of college football games I don't got money on today. Tennessee, I got money on today. And remember, I haven't bet Tennessee since they burnt me in the swamp.
It's the last time Joe Milton will hear Rocky Top at home. It's a day he'll never forget.
We lose it 52-7.
As expected, our entire community is on Georgia here. 71% on the Bulldogs, just 22% taking the points with me and Jay. Next game. UCLA at USC next. I think Garbers is good to go, and I'm almost positive on that. So if you're wondering about the UCLA quarterback situation, he's good. Anyone that was asking, because I know that was in question yesterday. So I think Garbers is playing. Radhawk?
Yeah, I'm going to take UCLA here. I think this game's going to go back and forth, but I still want to be on the side of the team that can actually get a stop defensively. Don't know if that's something that USC has in their vocabulary. So give me UCLA here. You know, I know Caleb Williams, obviously the better quarterback here, and we know this USC offense is solid, but like I said, if you're allowing the other team to score on every other possession, it doesn't really make a difference how good your offense is. It's going to turn into a shootout. So give me UCLA in the points in this one. I think they got a chance to win this one outright.
Does Jay have the stones to lay 5.5 with his boys here?
I'm taking Caleb.
I knew it.
I'm taking USC. UCLA, man, you lose by 10 to Arizona State, man.
Dude, don't be hating on the Sun Devils.
I'm hating on the Sun Devils a little bit, you know. I just think this is the game USC finally puts it back together in the team that we thought they were. You know
what did they ever have put together on the defensive side of the ball? I put what back together? There's nothing to put back together.
That's an excellent point.
That was originally put together to put it back.
That's an excellent point.
Some point there, but you know we're laying under a touchdown, so I think offensively is where I could see them hanging 35, and then I mean it's not like Oregon, who we know can hang 70 on a lot of people. They didn't necessarily like this defense up last week. If they get into a similar game like this, I think USC is going to be the one on top. I think they win it, but honestly, they probably win comfortably like 10 points.
All right, Mitch. Where are you at here?
Well, let's just say this. The thing I love about this game the most is that both teams wear their home uniforms. You know, the first time that UCLA wore their home uniforms in this game when the game was at the Coliseum, they called a 5-yard penalty on him to start the game. And then Pete Carroll, who was coach of USC at the time, took a 5-yard too much time penalty just to offset it. Or they charged him a timeout. So he took a timeout before they snapped the ball in the first play to level it out at 2 each in the first half. That's what happened. But I'll tell you what else has also happened is I bet against USC every single game this season. I'm 7-3 against the number. I'm going for 8-3 here, man. This has been a cash cow of cash cows betting against the Lincoln Riley defense. It is just, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I think he might be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
God. Please have that not be reality. I want Matt Campbell on the Cowboys, but that's not going to happen. It's not flashy enough for Jerry Jones. But yeah, I'm on UCLA. Couldn't agree more. I wrote down in my notes early in the week, I'm playing UCLA if Ethan Garbers plays. Looks like he's going to play. He had a foot injury. He missed last week. But for what I'm reading, he's good to go. If he's good to go, I'm good to go. UCLA plus 5.5. Definitely taking the points. I think they win, to be honest. So yeah, UCLA. Our poll, slightly leaning towards USC. Let me see. When the results pop up, looks like 44% of our viewers are on USC, just 39% on UCLA. So community is against this. Community siding with Jay here. Next. Illinois at Iowa. Oh, man, what an awful game to talk about. I'll run the poll real quick, but this is going to be a quick one. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this. I got this one at 3.5 on Illinois. I would still take it at 3. I'm just going to put Illinois plus 3 up there. Won't spend a ton of time talking about it. Would love to fade the Iowa offense. Don't care that Illinois may be having a quarterback situation. Is Altmaier even going to be the guy the whole game? I honestly don't care. I'm getting a full 3 here against this team that you can't even count on to score 14, 17 points. So give me Illinois plus 3. I think they have a good shot at winning the game straight up. Mitch.
I agree with you. I'm gonna take Illinois as well. I think Iowa just seems like just such a super square play in this thing. For some reason, man, they just get a lot of ink and a lot of love, but they haven't really done much at all this season. It is senior day, and I mean they're gonna be wave goodbye to your money if you're on Iowa.
Oh, they're also Iowa's also missing one of their best pieces on defense. That safety is out for the year too. I forgot to mention that. I have it written down here. His name's DeJean or something.
I think the Iowa linebacker that the Lions got actually pretty good, but that Lions defense outside of him
they're hurt though, Mitch. They got so many pieces missing on that Lions defense. Let's bring up Rat Hawk. Are you with us on Illinois?
There are certain things that happen in life: death, taxes, and the under in Iowa football games. And I can't go against it until I have a reason not to.
Even at 32.
I bet it at 27 when it was last week. That ugly under. It was like what, 28 or something like that, or 29. Yeah, until Iowa shows me that they can have a game that goes over the number, and keep taking the unders. The last 4 games for Iowa, I've seen 22 points or less. So
that's insane.
Give me the under.
Jay, you have anything on this one? I know this isn't the most electric game here.
I'm on Iowa, man.
What?
Yeah,
you're laying 3 points with
He's still mad about
Deacon
the fair
Hill
catch.
I still am mad about the fair catch.
He's so bullshit about that fair catch. Man.
Yeah,
he's gonna burn me for quite some time, man. But
Welcome to college football.
Look, this is their what? This is gonna be their 5th home game in their last 6 games. It's senior day. They're comfortable at the crib, like they ain't left. Illinois is not the team to knock them off. They're not. They win this game today. They win it by 4.
Iowa could be the worst ranked 16th team in the history.
And I feel like that's the case every single year. They're always like right up there, probably going to play the Big Ten championship game again. And it's like, if you watch Iowa play, you're like, this team isn't even any good. How do they keep doing this? Final score 14-13. Iowa wins.
They really only got 1 loss, man. That's what's crazy. Really
I know, but it's like the ugliest shit. Like, there's not a single Iowa game that you watch this year where you're like, wow, this Iowa team, they're a problem. Like, they're going to go to the Big Ten championship again, and they're going to be like 17-point underdogs again in the Big Ten championship. It's wild. Our poll split even. Half on 38% in Illinois plus 3, 38% on Iowa minus 3. So we're split even there. Next. UNC at Clemson. And honestly, I'll go first because I could care less about this game. If you told me that this point in the season we would have North Carolina on the road at Clemson and it would be, I don't want to say meaningless because mathematically North Carolina is still alive. They need to win. They need Louisville to lose, and then they need some other things to happen. I think they need like 3 or 4 other things to happen. So mathematically, North Carolina is still alive to play in the ACC championship game again, but it's unlikely. And it's just insane that we're looking at North Carolina Clemson week 12, and I don't give a shit about the game. It's almost meaningless for. I'm putting North Carolina plus 7.5 up. I think Clemson's probably the sharp side here. Sharp side's been getting beat a lot, especially in Clemson games. So I'll take North Carolina. I didn't bet this game. Maybe in the Discord, if we're bullshitting and it's getting close to kickoff and somebody wants to bet it, I'll tail somebody. But I would say North Carolina plus 7.5 for pass for me. Mitch?
I like Clemson in this one. I'm going to lay the points. I just think, at Death Valley, I know you hate this.
Mitch loves some
Dabo Swinney, physical defense.
Death Valley, senior day. Because not just physical defense. It's my 2 favorite things in football. Play defense, run the ball. And they are going to run the ball between the tackles up the gut of this Tar Heel team all day long. North Carolina turns the ball over once. All it's going to take is 1 turnover, and this thing is a blowout. I mean, that's how that they are going to run the ball. 2-headed monster at running back. They're not going to let Klubnik beat us. Just going to pound it up the gut at home. And I'm telling you, they're going to storm the field after this game as well.
They're going to storm the field.
They always storm.
Just like they pounded the ball between the tackles against Wake Forest. This team sucks, Mitch. Let's bring up.
Wow, that's cold, man. That's cold. That's cold.
Let's
man.
bring up.
Look at his record, Jay. Look at all the playoff appearances. Look at the rings. Look at the national championships. Not like the fraud in Colorado that lost 56-14 last
Mitch,
night.
He had Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
he recruited those players.
He recruited Klubnik too. You can't only praise him for the good ones. He's got this guy. That's his guy too.
Facts, and that's the premise, man. Clemson, I feel, is still priced.
You don't always hit, man. Look at Shedeur Sanders. How many times he's been sacked this year? 60. I mean, come on.
All I'm saying is this Clemson team is, in my opinion, is still priced like the Clemson of old, not the Clemson that they are this season. And if they're gonna give me over a touchdown in my back pocket, I'm going to take it. Klubnik's going to throw a late interception that's going to blow the cover, and everybody's going to be sick and saying the same thing they've been saying all season.
Why would he throw a late interception in a blowout game? It just doesn't even make any sense.
I mean, you got to throw the ball when you're down 3 scores, Mitch.
What? What?
All right, let's bring up Rat Hawk, the voice of reason.
Exactly, I'm the voice of reason. That's why I'm taking Clemson.
Okay.
Look, if this is just the way I looked at it. It's senior day, and I know that's not my only angle for this game, but it's just like there was so much expectation for Clemson this year, and they know this season has been dog crap. So it's like they got to at least save some face and have a decent outing to finish out the year. And if there's one thing that Clemson's at least been able to hang their hat on when all this crap's been going on, it's that they still have a really good defense. So I just see them getting to Drake May here. I see 31-21 Clemson.
I mean, I love how senior day is a huge factor when you guys need it to be. But then in other instances, you're like, oh, senior day, who cares?
Well, because in certain buildings, in certain environments, it is a big deal. In Miami, where there's 16 people in the stands, it's not that big of a deal. So there won't be 20,000 people at that game total in Miami today. You watch that game on TV, it will be an empty ghost town stadium. You watch this Clemson game, it'll be $800 for an end zone upper deck seat, man. And that's the difference, because Death Valley is one of the toughest buildings in all of college football.
I know, we saw that in the Wake Forest game. Just wow. So tough that they almost lost to Wake Forest there. North Carolina plus the points. Our poll is on Clemson. Our poll is siding with Mitch and Rat Hawk.
It's a very educated crowd here.
It couldn't be that you're on the public side. They're just educated.
I don't care. When Jay's on the public side, he always says public wins half the time.
No, I think North Carolina would probably be the public side here. Our poll is on Clemson, though. 50% of our viewers laying the 7.5 with Clemson, 41% taking the 7.5 with North Carolina. Next game.
I wear my Kirby Smart shirt to the Clemson.
I think you're kidding, but wouldn't be surprised at all if you really did have a Kirby Smart shirt.
We'll have them made.
Wait, this is wrong.
I was just about to say it's confusing.
We're skipping this. This is supposed to be Minnesota at Ohio State. Next.
I love Ohio State in that one.
Really?
I like Ohio State. Lay the wood and beyond.
You don't think it's a look-ahead spot?
Senior Day.
Oh my God! Now Senior Day matters again.
But it's another place where it happens because they have Marvin Harrison Jr. who's a Heisman candidate. He's going to have 10 touchdowns in this game.
He's not even a senior.
But it's his last game in Columbus.
So now, you just keep moving this line.
You have Henderson, his last day in Columbus. Believe me, Minnesota, they're trash. It's the time of possession. This is going to be a slaughter.
Yeah, you haven't learned not to fade the flex there. That's what you call him. That's what you call him, the flexter.
I know he's the flexter.
Oklahoma State at Houston. Mitch is up first, and he gets to tell us about all that Houston NIL money and how it's produced to such a good defense this year. Mitch?
Well, apparently Houston has allocated most of their NIL money to their basketball team recently, but I think that because we know that Kelvin Sampson can work the phones. Like that Eric Gordon phone call when he was at Indiana. But the thing is that, the Cowboys really, you called it last week. You had it, that it was a letdown spot for them. They let down and they got absolutely steamrolled. But Houston really just not a good team this year. And I think that Oklahoma State is probably the pick, but this is not a game I'm betting, to be honest with you. I'm not passing. I don't pass on the show. I don't take a total, like some people. Chris Ruffalo. But I'm gonna roll with. I'm just gonna take Oklahoma State, but it's a lean.
Yeah, I'm on Oklahoma State too, and I bet it pretty hard. But this is another game where the line movement terrifies me. Clearly, some people out there like Houston. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's Senior Day. Who the hell knows? But Slime was at 7.5 early in the week. It's been bet down to 6.5, despite. What I believe to be a heavy public side at Oklahoma State. I know all the data doesn't show that, but you can see our poll. Everyone's picking Oklahoma State. I just don't see how Houston stops the run game here. You have Oklahoma State who's been steamrolling everybody on the ground for the better part of a month and a half. They have one bad game on the road in the bounce house, which is a tough place to go play. And now all of a sudden everyone's sold on Oklahoma State, and they're laying less than a touchdown against a really bad Houston team. I'm not seeing it. This number should be up at 7.5 or higher. I think Oklahoma State blows them out, but like I said, this line movement is scary. There's definitely some sharps out there that like Houston at the number. They probably got it at 7.5.
I think the sharps have been anti-Oklahoma State for a while now. They have been in a lot of these games.
Well, I mean, it's tough to unsee how they started this season. That game against South Alabama is tough to unsee. You got beat 33-7 on your home field.
Running with 3 quarterbacks. You can't – when you have 3 quarterbacks, it means you don't have one. And I think, now that they've worked
right, but it's
out,
still a testament to Bowman that he wasn't even good enough to win the job over those other 2 guys. I'm on Oklahoma State. There's a lot of things that stink about it. That's all. That's
why I said it's a tough one. It's a tough one because Houston does have that NIL money coming in. So you have to kind of
we do have to talk about Houston's NIL money. Rat Hawk.
Yeah, I'm with you guys in Oklahoma State. The line move freaked me out a little bit too, but this is still just Oklahoma State. I think coming out for a bounce back spot after being humiliated by UCF last week. Houston, this just hasn't been the debut season they wanted in the Big 12, and I don't see Oklahoma State really caring here. I think they're going to put the boots to them. Give me Oklahoma State.
All right, let's see if Jay is on the Cowboys with us.
I am not. I will continue to fade Oklahoma State like I have for majority of the season. They already won their Super Bowl. They did it. They did it already. Houston, I think they compete at home like we saw them compete with Texas at home. I just think that's the type game this is. I think Houston's a live dog here, and I love having the points in my back pocket. I'm not rushing to lay 7 on the road with Oklahoma State. I mean, is it a bounce back spot? Maybe, but a bounce back spot could be a 3-point win on the road, and they're just satisfied with that. So I'm not rushing to lay points with them out here. I'm taking Houston with the points.
Jay siding with the NIL money here. Our poll's heavy on Oklahoma State, as expected. Like I said, I expect Oklahoma State to be the pretty heavy public side here. 69% of our viewers laying the 6.5, 21% taking the 6.5 with Houston. Next. Speaking of the bounce house, UCF's on the road in Lubbock. UCF at Texas Tech. Let's start with Rat Hawk on this one. He loves UCF football. Big supporter. Another one that just has a stinky line that scares me. Really don't like the line. You know what? I'll go first. I was on this one early in the week. I was on Texas Tech right away. As soon as UCF went up like 3 or 4 scores, I went and looked, and in my head I was like, okay, tell me they're on the road next week because I'll fade them. And I went and looked. They're on the road, not just on the road in Lubbock, a tough place to go play. I knew I was betting Texas Tech by halftime of the UCF-Oklahoma State game last week. Here's the thing. I got in at 2.5 thinking, this number's going to be 3.5 by kickoff, and I'll be holding some value. Not the case. Line moved up to 3, but yesterday morning dropped back down to 2.5 despite everyone betting. I'm not on UCF. Sorry about that.
I was going to say.
I'm on Texas Tech. Sorry about that. So
never mind.
Yeah. So this number is sitting at 2.5 despite everyone coming in on Texas Tech. It stinks. Another stinky line, but I can't get off this side. It's just perfect. You got UCF coming off a huge home win, a team that plays better at home, now going on the road. So whenever that happens, you usually can catch some value fading them. Not just going on the road, though. Going on the road to Lubbock against a Texas Tech team also that usually has some really good home field advantage. They're coming off a road game where they really didn't look great. They got the win. It was an upset win, but if Jason Bean doesn't get hurt in that game, I'm not sure if Texas Tech wins that. They still almost blew the lead against Kansas. So now they're back home. It's just a great betting spot. But again, the line stinks here. So I'm on Texas Tech. Don't love it as much as I did early in the week, though. Rat Hawk?
Yeah, I didn't love this game at all. But I will look towards the over here. I just don't see either defense really getting any stops in this one. I see this getting well into the 60s. Dude, this is one of those games that finishes like 38-35 or 38-31, something like some high-scoring game like that. So give me the over here as we get closer to 70 than anything else.
Keep in mind, the Red Raiders are playing some good defense. Don't sleep on that Red Raider defense. Jay, are you a Red Raider guy?
Not really. I like them, though. And I'm going to take them here today. It's simple. Where do they play the best football? At the crib. On the road, they're straight ass. At home, they've been getting better as the season has progressed. And we got to fade UCF off that huge win last week. It's not that complicated. I'm taking Ticks. Take care.
Couldn't agree more. And here comes Mitch. Texas Tech, Mitch?
I'm on Texas Tech, but for different reasons than you guys.
NIL money?
I'm actually that's angle number 4 in the Kyle Kirms list of hated angle list. I'm gonna go to angle number 11 on the hated
Senior
angle
day
list of Kyle Kirms day. No, actually, we have a senior day angle, but it's actually not senior day. I don't think, is it? Oh yes, it is. But the thing is, I'll even take it even a step further. We'll go deeper into the angles that Kyle Kirms hates. Think about this one. Both these teams 5-5 going into this one. Texas Tech plays at Texas next week. This is their better shot of becoming bowl eligible than winning.
Who's
Austin.
UCF play?
UCF plays home against Houston at the Bounce House. So they both are 5-5. They both need one win for bowl eligibility. I think that Texas Tech leaves it all out on the field here, and in Lubbock, I'm going to take the Red Raiders. I just think that they know I think they believe they can beat Texas. They always do. But I think they also know They kind of got a better. I know Kyle Kirms hates that.
No, actually, I like
which
that. What you just said.
a little bit more.
What you just said.
Wow,
I like
wait,
that
is
angle.
An acceptable angle?
It is. I like
Bowl
what you just said.
eligibility is an acceptable angle. All right.
Mitch, what happens if an odd number of teams finish with 6 wins?
An odd number of teams finish with 6 wins. Oh, they throw somebody out. They
Oh,
exclude
really?
somebody. Yeah, they exclude somebody. Actually, there was a lawsuit against Wyoming. It went to Congress and testified, and that's why they have like some of these other bowl eligibilities and all this other stuff, because it was Wyoming, the Cowboys, that were excluded. And of course, they have like the guys who are like, "It's my senior year, I'll never get to play again."
Yeah,
and, it's
telling
like, so
sob stories at
Yeah.
the deposition.
Usually, what happens is you have less than enough teams with 6 wins. But now that most teams play 12, there used to only be an 11-game schedule for everybody. But now that they play 12, there's more teams with 6.
I'm not even kidding. I like that angle that Texas Tech has to go on the road to play Texas next week. They need this win to be bowl eligible. Meanwhile, UCF can afford to lose this because they're home against a terrible Houston team next week. I actually like that. It's a lot better than your senior day or your NIL money look.
Well, you got senior day also all rolled into one. You can roll it.
Yeah, but like you just pick and choose which senior days matter. That's where I draw the line.
That's the beauty of it.
That's not the beauty of it. That's the bullshit of it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
So there's actually 10s available, and here's my concern in this one. I'm gonna put it up at 9.5. This is Kansas State at Kansas, by the way. I'm gonna put it up at 9.5. There are 10s out there, and I took a Kansas plus 10. This one for me comes down to whether or not Jason Bean is playing. Now I'm reading that he's probably gonna play, but the line movement indicates that he's not. I mean, this line was at 7 on Monday morning. There's now 10s available. Doesn't that usually indicate that the odds makers don't think he's going to play? I don't know. It has not been confirmed that he's playing. I'm holding a Kansas ticket. I already put the bet down. And if Jason Bean ends up not playing, I'm probably screwed here because that third-string quarterback that we saw come in and play the second half against Texas Tech last week,
I'll tell you right now.
he wasn't the guy. Oh, Mitch is going to tell us. Is he going to play? Jason Bean.
God, I need bifocals. I have them. Cannot predict now.
You really just held the show up for that? For a cannot predict now? If this isn't a yes or no answer, I'm kicking you off.
Even the 8 balls pulling out the we're withholding information. They're pulling the Whittingham.
It just says yes.
All right. So there we go.
YES. Yes.
Mitch, are you on Kansas with me?
No, I can't be because I took Kansas actually earlier.
Bro, senior day.
I know it's senior day and it is the Sunflower State rivalry here, but at the same time, I just think that, Kansas with the QB questions, man, it's like, and you're up against a team that can really
there's no
put
question.
points on the
board.
board.
Question just got answered. Yes, you said.
I know, but the problem is the 8 ball just not what it used to be. That's why we don't call on it too often. I mean, that cannot predict now. That's bullshit.
That's some bullshit.
It's like look at the total. It's like what are you talking about?
Let's bring up Jay. I know Jay's with me. He loves the Jayhawks. Jay loves the Jayhawks.
Yes, I do, and I'm on my Jayhawks today. Kansas State is rolling. Hats off to them boys, and they do win this game, but they don't come in here and dominate Kansas on senior day. I know Mitch thinks it's a basketball season, and Kansas, that's another one of the angles.
It is.
I know he thinks that Kansas probably folded the tent, but I think they compete here today. I really do. This is one of the games they get up for. They might be a live dog. If you like huge plus money dogs, I think this is one right here in my wheelhouse.
Do you want to say Kansas is storming the field so we can clip the
soundbite?
soundbite?
Here goes mine. They're storming the field.
Kansas is storming the field.
Who makes more money, Hunter Dickinson and DeJuan Harris, or the entire Kansas football team?
Mitch, it's senior day.
Money?
It's senior day.
It is senior day.
How can you fade him on senior day? Your own words that just aren't applicable here, I guess.
I know. I just love the hidden ball trick. I just love it, man.
Rat Hawk, you're not fading the Jayhawks on senior day, are you? You wouldn't.
100% I am. This Kansas State team is rolling. This Kansas defense is a sieve. They rely on the offense to be able to stay in games, and even if Jason Bean plays, I don't think he's 100%. I think they'll they just want him back to be there for the rivalry game. Chris Kleeman's absolutely owned Kansas since taking over at Kansas State.
You know who else has owned Kansas? Oklahoma.
Yeah, true.
They got dogged.
Yeah, we all knew that was coming.
No one knew that was coming, Mitch.
I said they were going to win and storm the field.
Yeah, but Jay says they're storming the field today.
We'll storm the field.
We're clipping that.
Jay's also been saying we coming for the last 11 weeks. went over like a lead balloon. I know, but
no bowl game for Colorado.
No bowl for you.
No Chick-fil-A bowl, but a trip to Chick-fil-A.
I can't believe you guys are fading them on senior day. That's just
I see the head-to-head, and it's all Kansas State, and Kansas State's been just rolling. This might be the best Kansas State team they've had in a long time.
No way. You're kidding. That's not true.
I mean, they're pretty good, but they're deep. Kansas State's defense has been suspect on the road, though. If you look at their splits, the defense has been really nice at home.
They won the championship last year. They're not winning.
Deuce, man. They had the deuce last year.
Yeah, but then
What are you talking about?
But didn't they win the Big
TCU.
12? They won the Big 12 with 3 losses, though. It wasn't like
But they beat TCU in the title game, something that Michigan was unable to do.
That's Big 12 championship was a look ahead spot for TCU. They were looking at the playoffs.
They might not have gotten in if they.
That was a must win. That
was a must win game.
Nah, they were in either way, as we saw.
Because the Big 12 always gets favorable treatment from the committee.
That TCU team did.
TCU and Baylor both got left out.
By the way,
that's my argument. That's why I think Texas can still get in.
They're not getting in, Jay.
They're not getting in.
They're getting in. They might get in.
Yeah, because who does Florida State play?
They're getting into the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
It starts right here with this one. It starts right here.
Who does Florida State play today, Chris? Coastal Alabama.
I think they play Bethune-Cookman.
No, it's like Coastal Alabama.
No, it's like North Alabama or something like that.
Yeah.
52% of our viewers are laying the points of Kansas State. Just 39% siding with me and Jay and the Jayhawks. Next,
Chalk.
Washington at Oregon State. Wow, we're putting Rat Hawk on the spot here, making him go first. And in my opinion, I think this is the toughest game to pick of the day. And obviously, we all have to make a pick. We're probably all going to bet it because it's an awesome game. We're all going to be watching it. But I think this is as coin flippy as a coin flip game could get. So really putting Rat Hawk on the spot, making him lead off here. What are you doing?
Taking Oregon State. I think the magic ends here. Reese, I've liked Washington almost all season, but there's just no denying the magic that happens at Reeser. Corvallis is crazy. It's one of the more, I would say, more
Senior day.
I didn't factor it into that.
Do they play the Civil War next week? I do believe. No, yeah, next week is the Civil War. It's at Outson. So this week is Senior Day in Corvallis.
Yeah, so I still like Oregon State at home. 17-1 against the spread. Oregon State is the last 3 seasons at home. So
yeah,
I got to go Oregon State here.
They replaced the Apple Cup on that Friday night slot with the Civil War.
And that's I'll put mine up. I'm on Oregon State too. This defense, it almost doesn't even. Now this year, Oregon State has an elite defense across the board. But even seasons where the Oregon State defense isn't that good, they're still somehow awesome here. This is just always such a tough team to come in here and beat. And Michael Penix, I'm sure he's going to make plays. I mean, those receivers he's got are so talented. That offense is really so good, but it is a little bit one-dimensional. The run game, despite, I forget the running back's name. They got a good back, but still not much of a rushing attack. What's his name?
Martinez?
No, that's not his name. The running back?
For Oregon State?
No, for Washington.
Oh, for Washington. Sorry, I thought you said. Sorry, I thought you were saying.
They have a back there that's pretty good, but the offense is completely reliant on the pass, and bringing a one-dimensional offense on the road in Corvallis is just crazy. And then on the other side of the ball, though, this is what really pushes me over to Oregon State, because we can make the argument, we can argue Oregon State's defense against Michael Penix and that offense all day. There's strong points to be made on either side. But on the other side of the ball, I haven't seen any evidence that Washington can come in here into Corvallis and stop the Beavers from just slamming the ball between the tackles, controlling the clock, keeping Michael Penix on the sidelines. Oregon State's one of the most effective rushing teams in the FBS. I think they're 4th or 3rd in effective rush analytically. This is a great running team. DJU, not exactly a showstopper throwing the ball, but he's more than formidable I think the edge for Oregon State is actually on the offense. I think they're going to control the clock completely and win the game. Now, obviously, when you got a talented offense like Washington and Michael Penix, there's always a chance they get the ball down one score and get it done at the end. That's why it feels like a coin flip to me. But I think Oregon State will control this game. It's just a matter of, does Penix get it done on the last possession? That's what's making this a smaller bet for me. But I'm excited to watch this one for sure. Let's bring up Mitch. What do you got here?
I love Oregon State in this game. I don't think it's as close as any of you guys think. I think they come out, set the tone, and dominate here against Washington. As Chris loves to say, one of his word of the year, Reeser, he just, I just think that they are tough at home, and they always have been tough at home. They're actually redoing the stadium, so it's just a different configuration than it normally is. Actually, only half the stadium is in use, and it's still a tough building. That's how tough it is there. But I think, the Beavers eat here, and I think that they eat up the Huskies, chew them up, and spit them out, and, of course, storm the field.
They're going to storm the field as favorites?
It's against an undefeated Washington team.
Yeah, I guess.
It's senior day. It's all those magical things.
You're right.
It's night game.
Magical. He said magical things.
Well, it's college football. It's just a magical game.
Question: do you think the idea that this is like the last couple games here in the conference for Oregon State, something to prove, is an angle? Because I thought about that.
Absolutely, they have a chip on their shoulder because they are the bastard stepchild of the Pac-12. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, why? I mean, I don't know anything about the draw.
Well, because
maybe they don't have a big national draw.
They don't make any money.
Right, so but they're such a cool team that's always tough, and they make the conference fun.
They're gonna be awesome in the Mountain West or in the West.
Is that confirmed though? Because I thought that was.
No, I don't. I've heard nothing.
Yeah, they should just.
They should be in the Big 12. They should be in the Big 12.
No, Mountain West sounds good for Oregon State. They'd be a nice team in there. Sounds about right. Let's bring up Jay and so he can tell us he's taking Michael Penix.
It was like absolutely not.
I'm taking Oregon State. This is
what?
My route. Yes, this is part of my route to Texas getting in the college football playoff. We get Washington, they get knocked off. Then you get Ohio State knocked off next week by Michigan.
That's not going to
happen.
Florida
State gets knocked off next week by Louisville.
Michigan's going to beat Ohio State.
And then Georgia get knocked off by Bama, and it just creates a whole bunch of chaos to where it's 6 teams right there, and you got to put Texas in as the conference champ. That's how I see it happening, man.
You're leaving out Texas getting knocked off by Texas Tech next week.
Tech. Iowa State tonight.
Stop.
No, the best part of this whole thing is that you just watch the final rankings and they announce Texas 5.
I mean, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna put us in.
We should do a reaction show when they announce we should do a show when they announce the rankings.
You see Jay just
shocking disappointment, learning what a screw job the NCAA committee is, man, and just how dirty these guys are. Because I'm telling you what, Georgia loses to Alabama, they both go. Is the way that it works. Trust me, over Texas
today. And then so Texas will get a dub, Oregon probably get a dub, and they both move up. Washington fall to 7.
Alabama beats Georgia, Jay. Both SEC teams go. That's how it works.
Kyle, do you agree with me? The best win in college football this year is Texas's win in Tuscaloosa.
The best win in college football? What about Wyoming over Texas Tech early in the year was kind of cool.
What about Washington State's win over Colorado? Or Oregon's win over Colorado?
So Jay's taking Oregon State. Reasoning? Georgia's going to get knocked off. Washington's going to get knocked off. So our poll is actually leaning Oregon State. I'm surprised by that. I mean, I know a lot of people out there like Oregon State, but I thought, they're 10-0. I thought everyone would be coming in on Washington. That's not really the case. It's pretty split.
Hear Ruffalo pronounce Ugung. How do you say it, Ruf?
Ukulele. Oh, no. Yeah, ukulele, I think.
I think I figured out the pronunciation like last week. It's like Uyungalole.
Oh, whoops. 46% on Oregon State, 43% on Washington. Next. Florida at Mizzou. Wow. I took Tennessee last week. It was pretty embarrassing. They got absolutely destroyed. Brady Cook looked like the man last week with both his legs and his arm. Mitch, you going back to Mizzou here? I know you hate Napier.
Eli Drinkwitz is my guy, and we all know one thing about Florida. They can't tackle nobody. And it's like they're going to practice not tackling for next week's Florida State game in this game. I like Mizzou. I like them big and easy.
This sucks because I like the spot for Florida, but you know what? Florida has bit me in the ass twice recently. I took them plus 14.5, and it was a crime that they didn't cover that against LSU. Anyone who watched the end of that game, oh my God.
What about the Georgia game?
I took them heavy against Georgia too, which that was just wrong though. The LSU one, it was just an unfortunate series of events at the end of the game to not get the cover. So I've taken Florida on big bets twice recently. Didn't work out either time, so I just don't have a ton of faith in backing them, even though, truth be told, I kind of like the spot for Florida. Missouri coming off probably the biggest win of the year for them, beating up on Tennessee badly. Excuse me. This would be a spot to sell high on them, but I can't do it because Florida just continues to let me down. So I'd be on the Missouri side here. I didn't bet this game, and I probably won't, but you know what? If you want to make a case, Mitch, actually, no, you won't because you hate Billy Napier, but Florida at home against Florida State next week. Probably going to be getting
it. No chance.
They're going to win it. They're going to win it for me.
Oh, Lord.
I think they can win it too.
They can tackle nobody.
So you like
nobody?
You would
lay
double-digit points to Florida State on the road.
You have to tackle somebody.
So you're going to lay double-digit points on the road with Florida State next week in the Swamp.
Yes.
All right, you're going to come back on the show and say that.
Yes.
I'm taking Gators money line next week in the Swamp.
Yeah, I think I am too. I'm with Jay on that one. But that's next week.
You guys are getting a little carried away with yourselves.
No, you're just not seeing it clearly, Mitch.
I'm just not seeing the board.
It's senior day, bro. It's senior day.
I know.
I believe we call this not seeing the path.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just Mitch disregarding senior day as always.
No, you know what the problem? See, you know what you're relying on here is, and Jay, you know, he won't say the word, but he knows what this is.
Yeah.
This is hope. Okay? Hope is a very bad thing. It will crush your dreams, and we are not hopeful. We do not rely on hope.
We do not condone
hope. Is bad. It will crush your dreams and ruin your life.
What the hell? What are we talking shit about hope for? I don't even want to know, actually. Is this senior day in Mizzou, Radhawk?
I think it is. But I'm going with Florida here.
Wow. You got a set of stones on you, Radhawk.
Yeah, I do like the spot. You know, it's not just the big win over Tennessee. They've had back-to-back big games at Georgia the week before. And you know, for me personally, I know you guys like Florida State next week. I think of the two spots, this for me would be the spot where I think they would probably try to go out and get the win. I don't know if they're going to get it. I'm not saying that I'm not going money line with Florida here, but against Florida State next week, sure, it's a rivalry game, but a Florida State team that's looking to drive the nail home and make sure they get into the college football playoff. I think that would be the tougher one for me there, but I think that they can go on the road and at least compete here. And at least I think this is a one-score game, 31-24. Give me Florida in the points.
Someone said in the comments, hope is not a strategy.
Hope is a very bad thing.
Jay, you're not taking the Gators, are you? You hate the Gators.
Nah, I'm laying it with Mizzou here. I think Florida gets their doors blown off and then pulls the magical upset for me next week.
I'm with you on that. Let's do it. Florida money line next week.
Jay will be wearing his merch jersey, man.
I hope that line goes up to 17.5. And Mitch is all like, I don't care. 17.5. There's no hope. It's senior day or whatever the hell he says. And then Florida beats them. That's
no chance.
That's where I'm at. That's how I see it.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, and $1. The Gators get slaughtered again.
Community heavily agrees with us on Mizzou, so Radhawk on his own little Florida Gator island with Billy Napier. 60% on Missouri, 31% taking the points for Florida. Next game, 2 games left. Just 2 games left. Kentucky at South Carolina. Let's get the poll running. This line was at 2 earlier this morning, so that's what I'll put it up at. Kentucky underdogs in this game. And here's my thoughts on this. So I'll go first, but because it's a very simple reasoning. I'm on the Gamecocks, and
it's senior day.
Is it senior day? It's probably senior day. There you go. Number 1, it's senior day. Like that was in my notes.
I don't even know. Is it really?
I have no freaking clue.
It's actually
Who cares?
It's not senior day. Next week, Battle of Palmetto State. They host Clemson.
So it's not senior day. Wait, in that case, I'm backing off the pick. No, just kidding. Could care less. So I'm on South Carolina here. What happened?
Basketball season?
No, I would never see those. That's your dumb shit angles. I don't do shit like that. So South Carolina, do we remember how their season ended last year? They were just flooded with mediocrity for about 10, 11 weeks, then finished the season looking like a monster of a program, beating Clemson. They almost beat Notre Dame in the bowl game. They beat Tennessee. Did they beat Tennessee? I think they took Tennessee down to the wire, I think it was. South Carolina was shit. And then in the last 3 or 4 games of the year, South Carolina became a powerhouse out of nowhere, and Spencer Rattler was one of the best quarterbacks in the country throwing the ball at the very tail end of last season. I think we're seeing it again. I mean, they just smoked Vanderbilt, and I'm not throwing them a parade for smoking Vanderbilt, but the offense was humming. Kentucky, on the other hand, I think is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. I don't think there's any gas left in the tank for this team. I don't even know if Devin Leary is 100% healthy. This team, how many games could they possibly get up on? I mean, they've been getting their asses beat in these heartbreaking games for damn near 6 weeks now. I think they've lost 5 of their last 6, Kentucky, 4 of their last 5, maybe. I don't know just how much is left in the tank for Kentucky. So I think Kentucky's doing this, and I think South Carolina's doing this. So I think the Gamecocks beat them up pretty good. We know Kentucky's defense is stronger against the run. They've been vulnerable to the pass, which plays into the strength of South Carolina. We know they're an offense that likes to throw the ball. I think they win by a touchdown plus. And I'm also going to take South Carolina to cover the number against Dabo Swinney on senior day next week. I'm riding the Gamecocks out to the end of the season just like I did last year. Hopefully they pay me out just like they did last year. Raddock?
Yeah, I'm taking South Carolina as well. I've stood on this hill all season that Kentucky relies on the big plays on the ground to do a lot of their damage. If you need evidence of that, they're 91st in the country, or in terms of in FBS in terms of rushing yards per game, but 15th in yards per carry. So they rely on big plays to move up and down the field. And I don't know if South Carolina's going to give that up because the best part of their defense is stopping the run. And South Carolina's pass offense, 11th in the country in passing offense, 8th in completion percentage against the 92nd ranked pass defense of Kentucky. I think South Carolina does enough here to win this one by a touchdown. I'm with you.
Completely agree. Let's bring out Jay. Are you on the Gamecocks with us?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm joining you guys with my guys, a little Spencer Rattler.
3 of us.
It sets up at home. Kentucky, they're always overvalued. It's basketball season,
Oh, using a Mitch angle. So that's 3 of us on South Carolina. Actually, it's going to be 4 because Mitch would never fade his Lord and Savior, Shane Beamer. So I'll put South Carolina up. I'm right, aren't I? I'm right.
I would never fade my Lord and Savior, Shane Beamer. I'm going to take South Carolina
in the walking boots.
Yeah, I just think it's too good to pass up, and I know there's
but it's not senior day.
Kentucky 0-5 in their last 5 in the underdog, straight up in their last 5 in the underdog role.
Didn't know that.
So not a lot of points to make much of a difference here in this thing anyway. So I would take money line South Carolina if you get it on the cheap because, like I said, Kentucky in the underdog role. It's not like they rise to the occasion, especially during basketball season.
Poll agrees with us.
I think Calipari's on his way out, to be honest with you, man. Kentucky hasn't gotten out of they haven't made it to the second week of the tournament since 2019.
I thought they played Kansas tough though the other day. I watched that.
Yeah,
whole
but you
game.
got to make it to you got to win championships in Kentucky.
Yeah, but you you can't make that declaration in November. That's something you say in January.
Right. I'm just saying if he doesn't make it until at least the Elite 8, Final 4, he's out.
I think you're speaking a bit prematurely there.
I think you got to if you're the head coach of Kentucky, you got to play in the second weekend of the tournament minimum. I mean, you should be in the Final 4 like every second or third year.
I mean, it's expected. You're right, but I don't know if it's reached that point yet.
I think it has.
Final
last time
game.
he made it was like Anthony Davis, right? John Wall.
No. Not John Wall.
Anthony Davis team.
No,
That
they
lost
went
to
with
like Furman or something.
was it the Julius Randle team? I can't
Randle
remember
was-
now. I'm not in college basketball mode yet. We're football. Now you're racking my brain here. Texas at Iowa State. We have the Texas man himself up here. So listen, it's senior day, is it? I think it's senior day for Iowa
Hell yeah,
State.
it's senior day.
So it's senior day here. You got an excellent head coach in Matt Campbell coaching
Get
against
the
your guys. 7 and a hook. It's a dangerous spot for the Longhorns. Iowa State live dog here, Jay.
You can get 7 if you really want it. If you do your line shop, you can get 7. I'm laying the 7. This is the dominant bounce back win. This is the, hey man, quit playing with us. We're still one of the best teams in the country. This is, hey, we're coming to smash y'all. Y'all better put us in the college football playoff game right here. I think they run these boys smooth off the field. If you guys remember, I have not really been on Texas for a few weeks. I haven't. ATS wise, I just haven't. I think this is the spot though where they get down on a bad.
You let them go as your favorite team. You took Colorado.
No, I didn't. They're still my favorite team. No,
You said at the beginning. Oh my!
I said hashtag we're coming. I'm hook 'em.
But then he saw the first half of that Oregon game, and he immediately went back to Texas.
We're done. It was a good run.
Rat
We'll
Hawk,
get him next year.
do you agree with your pal there? Texas -7.
Is it still 7.5 or is it down
The
7?
graphic says 7.5, but you can get 7 or 7.5. But the graphic says 7.5. But if you're taking Texas -7, we'll say it. The graphic will just say 7.
No. I'm saying hook them. They're gonna get caught by the hook. I'm gonna take Iowa State in the points in this one. For me, this one's all about the loss of Jonathan Brooks, one of the best running backs in the country, and it's just going to be an adjustment here. I know that probably means more attempts for Quinn Ewers, which for Texas may not be the worst thing, but you're going up against Matt Campbell, a guy that knows how to coach in the underdog role. He always seems to cover for us, treats us nicely when we back him at the betting window. I'm going to back him here. I'm going to take Iowa State in the points.
Agreed. Matt Campbell, superior head coach. I'm a big Matt Campbell supporter. Just always seems to find a way to put together a great defense, even when he loses the talent. Everyone thought the offense was going to just go down the drain after what happens. They're showing some signs of life. Texas is a fraudulent program. This is the game they lose. Mitch, are they storming the field here?
Yes, they are. Steve Sarkisian, just a shitbag of a coach, and I think that it all comes pouring out today. Jay's dreams, hopes, wishes, and pretty much it all comes pouring out.
So Jay has
Don't
hope.
worry, Jay. It's basketball season in Texas, and at the same time, man, look for the Cyclones to get it done at home. This is a storm the field moment.
So Jay has hope, but you're saying it's bad because the hope is gone today.
Well, hope is always bad.
It's
Hope will crush
day.
your dreams and ruin your life.
Senior day, man. It's senior day, Jay.
Hope will crush your dreams, ruin your life.
Hook 'em.
It's terrible.
All right, so the Hook'em's about to get hooked. 3 of us on Iowa State. Our poll is on Texas, siding, well, actually slightly. We're pretty split. 49% laying the points with Texas, 43% taking the points with Iowa State. Everyone, enjoy your Saturday. Thanks for watching, as always. Tomorrow morning, NFL show. They go live at 10 a.m. On the Pickdawgz channel. We go live here at 11 a.m. to run through NFL. Hopefully, I'll have more money in my bank account by then because college football's been kicking my ass. It's time to put together a good day.
You've been fading me, man. That's fine.
Fading his ass.
I haven't been fading you, Mitch. I don't know.
Fading my ass.
It's because this
Fading
shit hasn't
my
made
ass.
sense recently, man. Did you
Fading
see?
my ass.
Did you see Buffalo, Miami of Ohio the other night? The way that game ended.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Dude fumbled it. You laid the points to Miami, Ohio.
Of course.
That was a bad pick.
Giftopotamus, man. You got to take the gift that keeps on
It
giving.
was a bad pick. Buffalo was the move there.
Yeah, like UTSA at halftime was a bad pick last night. Oh my God, man!
I had South
waited
Florida.
Oh my God, you took South Florida. Oh my!
Plus 16.5. I loved it.
I laid 17.5 with
You got
UTSA.
lucky. You got lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
Yeah, they scored 56 points. I got lucky.
All right.
Your day.
Everyone enjoy Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow or next week.
We coming.